All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us this evening for the FLL Wisconsin FLL Zoom call. My name is Craig Peterman, uh, program delivery partner, I think is my title. Whatever, volunteer at BadgerBots, and we have most of our brain trust with us this evening. Brian and Brian, Farrell and Hicks, respectively, our judge advisors, and we've got Jay Church, our head referee, with us this evening. And rumor has it Allison will try and join us later. So, as you came into the room, you should all know that the meeting is being recorded. So, we do get quite a few views from our YouTube channel. So, pretend as if this is just a regular meeting in an audience of 80. And based on the number of views, it actually might be. The benefit of being on the call, obviously, is you can ask questions live of anybody on the panel. And as alluded to in the newsletter sent out today, we got four events in the coming weekend, and all three are represented here on the call by the tournament directors. So each one of them is going to get an opportunity to talk about their upcoming event. Real quickly, believe it or not, we're actually a third through the season already, based on number of teams participating. So this coming weekend is a big one with four events. Some of them are actually pretty good size on the larger end. So, pretty much close to being two-thirds done by the end of the week going into the Thanksgiving break. So, congratulations to all the award winners and certainly those teams that are advancing. And even to the teams that didn't advance, there was a lot of great stuff that we've seen so far. So, one other thing I wanted to mention is if you saw in the newsletter, if you go down to the very bottom, there is a unique event on the drawing board, or I should say, it's actually starting to be the plans are being put together for an event called Utter Chaos, which is at going to be at the FRC Championship at Brookfield East. So if your teams want to participate in something in the spring semester, don't take apart your robot just quite yet. If you want to meet periodically, I'm not exactly sure about signing up for the Utter Chaos event, when that's going to take place, but that information will be communicated, once it becomes available. So my point is, if you're interested in continuing and doing participating more, don't take apart the robot because there is going to be something available for a certain number of teams. Obviously, it's not going to be an unlimited event. So, with that, why don't we let our tournament directors talk about their events? And let's start with Eric Schultz and Marquette. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Eric Schultz. I'm one of the tournament directors for Marquette University High School. The Hilltopper Robotics team will be hosting two events this coming weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Two different head counts for teams on both days, and we have a slightly different schedule overall both days. Recently, we did send out if you're a team that's attending, we did send the corresponding schedule for your team, and hopefully you did receive that. If there's anybody that didn't receive it, we wouldn't mind hearing from them during the call or some other way through Greg. That would be great. I know there's been some last minute changes, and I'm not even sure what the final count is right now. Greg, do you have those numbers?
I do.
I know there were some last minute changes, and I haven't opened the schedule yet. That just came to me, but
Saturday is 27 teams and Sunday is 16.
yep. Okay. So yeah, so significantly larger for us on Saturday. That's traditionally has been the case for us. We're doing a little bit. If you have a team that has been to Marquette in the past, we're doing something a little different this year. We're going to have the entire event in the gymnasium. So we used to split our event where the robot competition game was in our auditorium, and we're going to be moving it back into the gymnasium. Years ago, it was in the gymnasium as well, but we feel it's just going to be easier to do, and some of the AV challenges that we have in the auditorium, we'll leave those behind for this year. So yeah, all the events, all the pit area, the practice tables, all the other events will be in and around our gymnasium area. So um, doors open on Saturday at 7:30, and I believe it's 8 a.m. on Sunday. I'll have to double check that, but again, and we'd like to see teams come in. Please bring the printed registration form we need from first during your check-in process. That will help us verify everybody's been cleared for background checks and whatnot. So at this point, I don't know if I have any. We are sending out our final team schedule. Our plan is on Thursday to do that. I know that we may have changes up to Wednesday, but right now we will release that information for both Saturday and Sunday on Thursday this week. So that's our current plan. And then, so that should be our final communication. I will include my cell phone number in that final communication. Is if there's any last minute issues for teams, I welcome them to give me a phone call if they need any assistance or any challenges last minute. The other thing, yeah, parking around our school, if you haven't been to it before, is kind of a challenge. We have two different parking lots. One is on the south end of our building, right up against the building. I believe we'll be sending a parking lot map in our next communication that'll kind of lay it out. And then we have an overflow parking that's across the street. We also have security guards in the building, so they do monitor the parking lots, so that they're, it is a fairly secure location. So I guess I'll open it up to any questions maybe that coaches may have for our tournament.
Hey, Eric, I'm showing an 8 o'clock coach meeting. So I don't know if I heard you incorrectly. Did you say 8 o'clock doors open on Sunday or?
On Sunday? Yeah. I
Okay.
thought I saw a 10 o'clock team
There's two.
meeting.
So anyway,
Okay.
we can discuss it afterwards, but
Yeah,
I see it 8 o'clock.
I will just refer to the final schedule.
Okay,
We're going to
yep.
definitely send out on Thursday. I know there might be some final changes there, but
Yep.
it should be pretty close to what we had originally. So I know the current schedule isn't quite stamped approved yet. So
Teams that are watching this, if you're at Marquette Sunday, make sure you check your schedule before you make your plans, because
yeah, I know the earliest we can get in the building is open the building is 7:30.
gotcha.
This is Michelle Wolfel with 1732 as well. Like, I'm helping co-direct. I just want to mention too, new this year is we are doing a food drive for House of Peace as well. And so this is new to the Hilltopper robotics team is putting it on, and we would love to have as many teams as possible participate and contribute non-perishable foods. You can just bring them in with you at registration, and we'll have drop-off locations, so you can just bring them to the registration desk and we can take them from you. And then we will be donating that to the House of Peace, their Milwaukee facility that we are hoping that everyone will come and support in this holiday season when a lot more people need help. So just a heads up on that too. That's new this year that we're excited to do.
Michelle, are they set up for monetary donations there? Do you know?
They are too. Yes, we
Okay,
can do
perfect.
both.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you. That's a great question.
Yeah, the other thing, Michelle, I know each team we usually have a Hilltopper robotics team member kind of be a personal escort for the team till once your registration is completed, they'll walk your team back to your pit area and kind of get you settled and give you a tour. So I think we started that, was it last year, Michelle?
Yeah, last year. They're called a team ambassador. And what we do is one of the Hilltopper robotics team members is will walk you to the gym, show you where you're going to set up, where your pit is, and they'll talk you through, point out where things are. They'll tell you about the coaches meeting, anything that's going on. If you have questions, please ask them. We want to make sure the coaches make sure they know who the coach is so that you get all the information, then you can pass it on to your team members and their parents. So.
Yep. I will mention I like to run an on-time tournament, so please make sure your teams are to queuing on time, and if and listening for any kind of queuing instructions from our team. Um, I know the judges and referees really appreciate when things run on time. So,
There's a couple. There's a couple questions in chat. Francisco, are you at Marquette? Are you asking specifically about Marquette?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so
Saturday.
he's asking how's the lighting condition within the gym or competition tables for those teams using color sensors. It's a standard gym, so.
yep, it is going to be darkened a bit, but we do have table lights if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so at all of our, okay, I should rephrase that. At 90% of our tournaments, all the ones that use the BadgerBots trailers, it's the same table, same setups. There's some uprights on the table, and they have overhead LED lighting. So once the lights get dimmed, you guys will have your practice round with the lights dimmed. Those lights should not change the entire day. So if you calibrate during your practice round, you should be all set. And then Elaine, are you at Marquette as well?
Yes, on Saturday.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're there. Okay. First tournament, is there an area for spectators and parents?
Yes, very much so. We have bleachers and seating areas right in front of the competition tables, and so you're welcome. It's open to the public. Everybody's welcome.
And
Yeah, we also have like oh, sorry, Eric.
No, I was just gonna say we also have, I believe, 2 screens that will have cameras on the tables, as well as part of the. So you'll be able to kind of get a close-up view while you're seated to see what's actually happening on the table. So I know we kind of have a system that shows the active tables that are going on, so that way we don't let parents and things come up to the tables and like do photography right there, for a couple reasons. There's not enough room there for everybody around the table, so we do ask that. I believe it's the team plus coaches, and maybe one. I don't know for what you're thinking this year, Jay, as far as allowing people up to the competition area.
Sorry, we usually have the teams, the 2 coaches, and if they have someone, a parent or something that wants to video or take pictures, but they're gonna have to be, further back away. I'm not sure what our floor print's gonna be there, but
yeah. So it usually is. I know with the auditorium was a lot more limited.
Yeah.
But I don't know either how the space will be. There'll be enough
Yeah.
room for the team. There'll be enough room for the coaches, and maybe one additional as a photographer. That's usually what we've allowed designation for in the past. So yeah, we'll definitely allow for that.
And then I'm assuming the rooms are similar to other years, so parents and the entourage can go to the judging session as well.
Correct. We do allow parents and coaches, if they'd like, to go into the judging sessions prior to the team going in, and then the team can enter, and I believe the clock starts then. So
Yes.
We did start something new this year with from a suggestion from the team here, is that we are doing a presentation practice rooms that will have like 15-minute increment signups. So we have that available to our teams as well, to if they would like to practice their presentation in a classroom before they their time is for judging.
Yep, they will require a sign up, very similar to a practice table for a robot. So we are offering certain designated rooms that teams can sign up for to have closed off session, if you would, in a very much similar size classroom configuration to what they would actually be judging in.
Sarah, I think this is answered already, but we'll just state it just to make sure. So pits, practice tables, and robot competition tables will be in the gym at Marquette High. Yeah, I think all that's in the gym. Yep.
Yep. Yes.
Hi, Allison. She made it.
Yeah, I'm still limited because I'm traveling, but I am here.
It's all good.
Let me take this opportunity then just to reiterate some of the issues or questions, answers that came up. It's not unique to Marquette. This is at just about every tournament that we have, as well, and certainly for the 4 that are happening this upcoming weekend. First of all, the practice round that every team gets is on the competition tables. It is not at the practice tables. We did have that mix up once this weekend, so let's hopefully not have that happen again. It just gives the kids an opportunity to be, in the spotlight without the pressure of it being an actual official run. And then for those new teams, maybe they don't know all the details of the rules, the nuances, so on and so forth, or even some of the more bigger ones like you can't bring your laptop to the table. Well, those types of issues can be ironed out during that practice run so that you're good to go for the 3 official runs. So remember, the practice run is at the competition tables. Secondly, which what Eric had gone through, parents, coach, spectators, brothers and sisters, if they're quiet, are more than welcome to sit in on the presentation. But you have to be there on time. They will go into the presentation room before the team does. And once the team goes in, that's it. The door's closed. They get their 30 minutes. So please let your parents know that if they are 1 minute late, they will not be allowed into that presentation. We do not want to disrupt the kids. That is not fair to them. So, and that applies again across the board to all the tournaments. Let's see. I think that's all I had on my list at the moment. Any other questions specific to the Marquette tournament while we got Eric here and Michelle? All right.
Are we using the same judging rooms?
Yeah, Jerry. Yes, we are. We'll be using the same judging room we normally use and the judge deliberation room. So if you've been to Marquette before as a judge, report to the same locations.
So, a reminder to coaches: those rooms get pretty hot. Make sure your kids are hydrated, and know not to lock their legs because it gets pretty warm in those rooms.
Yeah, no phone calls to EMS this year, I would hope. So.
I would say, like Craig said earlier, that's pretty much every competition. We did have a student pass out this past weekend, so just keep that in mind.
So I just want to make one clarification. As Craig said, the practice time, the way to keep this straight, we got to get some better terminology for the practice round. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that, but if it's on your schedule, right, you'll get a schedule. If it's on your schedule that we give you that has round 1, round 2, round 3, and your judging time, it says practice round, that's on the competition tables. I'm not sure how they do their practice boards. Some guys have a sign up slot. Sometimes you need a ticket, whatever, but practice tables are completely separate. Those are not on your main schedule. Those will be somehow signed up for or signed at the tournament. So the schedule you get before, that's the practice table at the competition.
At Marquette, we have a attendant that has a clipboard with time slots. Teams can sign up for a limited number of slots at a time.
Yep. So make sure you're not signing up for slots during your judging or your robot rounds. Sorry, here's another question.
In the chat, can the kids bring along water bottles into the judging room? I mean, there's no rule against it. I see that's the problem.
From the tournament side, it's allowed.
But, keep in mind the kids have to bring all their other stuff in too. So.
And the kids should not bring water bottles to the competition tables. No food or drink at the competition tables, please. They're only up there for a few minutes, so.
All right, very good. Let's move on to Janesville. New tournament director, same tournament, new director. Thank you, Jenny, for stepping up.
Yay.
Yep. So yes, I'm Jenny Callio, and I will be one of the directors at the Janesville tournament this weekend. The infamous Bob Getko will be walking me through that this year, so he'll still be there, and all of his family. So if you've ever been to our tournament, you'll see lots of Getkas still there. So our tournament doors will be opening at 7:30. Looks like the first coaches meeting is at 8 o'clock for any teams who have an 8:30 judging or that don't have an 8:30 judging session. And then there's a second one at 10 o'clock for the teams that have the 8:30 judging session. And let's see, we will have the DECA Club is providing concessions. It looks like they're going to have pizza, hot dogs, wings, breadsticks, cookies, nachos, ice cream, popcorn, candy, lots of different, and soda and chips, lots of different concessions to choose from for purchase through DECA. So please encourage your teams to visit the barn or the setup for some food. Parking, we've got a nice big student parking lot that is to the west of the building, but if you're like me, it's to the right of the building if you're on the main street. And then you'll be entering through those doors. That's right on the same side as the auditorium and the gyms. When you come in the building, we'll have the registration table right up front. You walk straight through the first cafeteria, and the pits will be in the east cafeteria. That's the second cafeteria as you keep walking. You'll be walking by a gym that's on the right. The very first gym we don't use, but the second gym is where our competition tables will be. And there will be some tables outside of that, some cafeteria tables where families can hang out and eat their lunch and everything. And then in the pit areas, there will be some table or some chairs lined up along the walls where families can set up some home bases to set up a home base around your pit areas. I believe we're using the same judging rooms. If you've been to the Parker Regional before, we're using the same judging rooms. They have double rooms that they open up an accordion wall, so there's plenty of space for spectators in there. Those also get very, very warm, so please plan accordingly. The whole pit area gets pretty warm throughout the day, so you may want to leave coats and jackets out in the car. Let's see, we won't have practice rooms this year, maybe next year, but we do have plenty of hallway spaces nearby where students can go practice their presentations. We are going to have a quiet room. It's going to be a quiet space for students to go in and kind of re-regulate if they need to kind of get out of the hectic area of the pit areas and everything. It is going to be monitored by an adult. We are going to request that it is a tech-free area for quick breaks, maybe 5-10 minutes to just kind of go relax, get out of the noise. We'll have some, my goal is to have some fidgets, some coloring pages, possibly a puzzle or something, just something calm and soothing to relax for a few minutes if they need to get out of everything. Overall, it's going to be run pretty similarly. If you've been to the Janesville Regional before, it should be very similar. The judges room and the volunteer room will be in the same locations. I think that's everything. Did I miss anything?
So just if teams find themselves in the quiet room, that is not a practice room. Do not do your skits and stuff in the quiet room.
Yes, that is set up for just a student. Oh, and students who go into, it should be individual students who need to go in, and they should have an adult with them. So they must be accompanied by an adult to go into the room for a little bit of time. It should not be a space for whole teams to go in or groups of students to go in together. I think that's everything.
Thank you, Jenny. Any questions for Jenny about the Janesville tournament? Okay, well, if not, I'm suggesting Jenny will send out the final day of schedule the Wednesday or Thursday before, just standard protocol. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I have the schedule. I've got it set. I'm waiting for there were some number discrepancies between a couple things that I saw, and then I need to check it with Brian to make sure I did everything correctly. But yes, my goal is to send it out hopefully Wednesday or Thursday, as long as everything looks good. So yes, teams should be getting their official schedules here in the next couple of days.
Excellent. And just so teams, coaches know, and you can relay on to your parents, the reason we wait until the Wednesday or Thursday before the event, I mean, we all know everybody wants to schedule 3 weeks ago, but it's just the nature of the business that teams are changing, new conflicts come up, a team needs to now present in the afternoon instead of the morning because of conflicts, and this goes all the way up until the day of the event. So if we start printing out and publishing schedules and then we have to go make changes, that creates a tremendous amount of chaos. So thank you for your patience, and please tell your parents. We'd love to get it out to you earlier, but it's just it really doesn't work well when we do that. So please relay that message to your parents. All right. So then on Sunday, we've got a new tournament in Oshkosh this year. So we've got Amy and Cindy. Thanks for showing up tonight. What you got?
Hi. So yeah, Oshkosh, like other tournaments, the paper copies of the team roster are going to be required. I think all the regionals have that. So we have ample parking in our, and I did already send out emails to all of the teams with a map of the parking lot. We've got a large student lot. There shouldn't be any parking problems for anybody. All of the events will take place in our field house. So that's very big. So we're going to be dividing the field house in half. Team pits are on one side, robot matches are on the other. The team registration check-in is also in the field house there, right with the team pits. So everything's sort of all right there. And then the lunch is just right across the hall. So the our concessions are also a team fundraiser for our local FLL program. So we're growing our program in Oshkosh. So we're hoping that everybody will have concessions there to help us grow our Explore and FLL programs in our community. That would be great. We will also have Oshkosh Corporation and also the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh Engineering Program wanted to set up STEM booths, activity booths there in our team pit area. So I don't know exactly what activities they're going to have, but they said they would have something for kids to do there. So I'm excited to see what they're going to bring. Typically, the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh Engineering Department has fun swag, like multi-purpose rulers and tape measures with levels in them and pencils that stick it. So they always have fun stuff. So I'm excited to see what they have. I don't know what it's going to be, but I hope it's fun. And Oshkosh Corporation said they were going to bring one of their like maybe JVL vehicles or some big vehicle to park out front. I don't know. We'll see what they do. I'm excited. So the activity booths will be there, and then we will also have a quiet room available and also a practice room for teams to schedule times in. Like the other tournaments, we ask that an adult go with the student into the quiet room and that it be a tech-free zone. We're also going to have coloring pages there. I don't have fidgets, sorry. We just didn't have time to get that together. But coloring pages, yes. Tech-free zone, yes. And John Deere donated a Lego set for a raffle. So teams are going to be able to buy a raffle ticket to get a Lego set. It's a pretty cool tractor Lego set. And it's cash only for concessions. So I wanted to note that we don't have any method to scan a card. And and our FRC team is going to do some robot demos in the afternoon before the award ceremony and that filler time. So I think that's all I've got. Cindy, did you have anything?
No, I think you covered it all.
Yeah, we're going to be sending out our schedule. I think Brian was still checking our schedule too, or did you have that?
I will try and check it tomorrow morning.
Okay, so we're also going to have our send out by Wednesday or Thursday, whenever that gets finished. But we have 11 teams coming. We are going to have 6 practice fields. So there should be plenty of time for teams to practice on those practice fields. So, but we will still ask that people do the sign in and be respectful, of course. So.
You, Amy and Cindy. Any questions for Amy and Cindy about the Oshkosh event? All right. Any general questions about the events for this coming weekend? Once, twice. All right. Let's pass the mic over then to our judge advisors, Brian and Brian. Anything to report? Anything new?
Nothing new. Brian, do you have any highlights or things you want to cover from the weekend? Otherwise,
I don't. Do you want to talk about the Nexus a little bit for the ones that'll be attending for how
yeah,
they'll
yeah,
get their
talk about that.
rubrics?
I was gonna cover that, but you can cover that.
Okay. So this year, we are trying out an electronic system. And so rather than getting your rubrics back, paper copies, they will actually be online and they'll be emailed to you a PDF of the rubrics. So that'll go out right after the competition is done. Anything else to add, Brian?
Yeah, so I just pasted in the chat FLL.nexus. That's the website. If you do, actually, I should have put /Wisconsin on there. That's where all of our tournaments are posted. Craig posted this in Slack earlier today. The leaderboard will be out there, so you'll be able to see the live leaderboards for the matches. As Brian said, we'll be doing the judging from there. So once the tournament's over and we close the tournament out, the coach 1 and coach 2 will get an email with the results for their team. That'll be the robot matches as well as the rubrics, and then a award summary for any core awards. As Jerry said, sometimes the rooms get hot. Stay hydrated. Remind the kids to go to the bathroom beforehand. And maybe not to, if you bring water bottles in, maybe not to slam it all in the first 5 minutes. We've had accidents before. We don't anymore. It's a half hour is a long time for the kids. It's stressful. We get it. So the judges are asked to watch out for things, signs of fainting and stuff like that. So they'll help with that. They may sometimes ask the kids to sit down during the Q&A or whatever to kind of make it a little bit easier for them.
Yeah, tell your students if they feel that way, please sit down. I'd rather have them sit down than fall down.
And the judges won't. It doesn't get counted against them. It's not a problem that they do that. And then again, as we said earlier, the kids will need to bring all the stuff into the room for the judging session. So, and one thing that I guess kind of a reminder, if you look at the judging session flowchart, there's a 2-minute as the teams come in setup time and welcome. So the judges will be talking to the kids during the time while the kids are setting up. That's fine. We understand that they're not looking at the judges. It's not a problem. But do note that between the Innovation Project Q&A and the robot design presentation that the kids give, there is no scheduled setup time. So the time they take to transition in there is against the running clock. So that's part of their time. So to kind of practice those things. A question in the chat: If we as a coach notice fainting concern, is it okay to say something? How should we alert the judges? I guess you can blurt that out. If that's the case, and just kind of make sure the judges hear it. Obviously, we don't want anybody falling and getting hurt.
For coaches, sometimes there's confusion with the team they try to go directly from their robot presentation. If they have a little core values presentation, they try to roll right into that. Coaches, if you could let them know that after questions on the actual robot and we go into feedback, that's when we give them some time ahead of that to, if they have anything that they want to add, that would be the perfect place to put that core values thing. But if they try to put it in for their right after their robot, they tend to lose question time on the robot.
Okay, I'm just going to bring this up quick because we've talked a bit about it. This is that session flow chart we're talking about. So I talked about the team welcome time where they come in and be setting up, and the judges will, introduce themselves, ask the kids how long they've been on the team, verify their team name and number, things like that. We're talking about that transition time here, that there is no real transition time scheduled. So, we've seen some teams take a minute or so, and that, it kind of goes against this block of 10 minutes. And Jerry's basically saying at the beginning of this section, final sharing feedback is when it'd be a good time if they have a core values thing that they want to present. And again, that's not a requirement that they do that, but if they want to, they can do it there. Our advice to the teams is, anything. It says teams may choose to share final thoughts with the judges. Judges may may ask clarifying questions and then provide verbal feedback to the team. The teams, if you use that time, we would advise in the minute to 2 minutes of that 8 minutes. So don't expect to monopolize that time. Those are the highlights I had.
All right. Anything else for Brian and Brian? All right. Let's move on to then our referees, the robot game, Jay and Allison.
Would you like me to do my list, or would you like to do your list, Allison?
You can go ahead and start. I'll fill in.
Okay. So we made a list of as you guys may know, we've had 2 weekends of tournaments now, so we've kind of seen a lot of gameplay. We are kind of getting a handle on some of the questions we're getting that we didn't really know would be coming up until there was a game type situation. So I just made a list over the last weekend of some of the things we saw. We want to share with you guys. I'm not going to go in depth on everything unless you guys want more clarification. I will just skip back 1 second though, because it is not on my list. We do sometimes have kids that feel faint at the robot tables as well. We actually had a kid pass out during a match one time. So if your kid is feeling like they're going to faint at the robot table, have them go sit down. They don't have to finish their match. We'll run another match for them. Okay, it's a little bit easier for us than the judges because we have like a 5-minute window. They have, half hour, 45-minute window they have to fill. If you have a kid that is going to pass out, have them step away from the table, just sit down right where they are. Don't worry about the robot. Don't worry about the score. Don't worry about the team. We'll let them run another match. We'll get them in. Okay, so that's not a problem there. Okay. So starting at my match at my list here. So queuing, also TDs on here, please, when you guys are setting up your queuing, we like to have our teams at the table 5 minutes before their match. The start time on the schedule that you have is the go time. That's the start time. So if it says 9 o'clock, that's when we want to say 3, 2, 1, Lego, go. So before that happens, there's setup time, there's inspection, they're testing their all their stuff, separating into different sides. So 5 minutes ahead of their time for the robot game, you probably want to schedule, or you probably want to queue them to their area 10 minutes ahead of time. Okay. So for teams, if you're listening, be sure you can be found. Okay. Don't go wandering off if it's getting close to your competition time, because the queuers will be looking for you and they need to be able to find you. Okay. All right. Coaches should not be helping set up the robot. We had a couple things this weekend where the coaches would actually bring robots to the board in the bin. So that's not unusual, right? We want the kids to be bringing all their stuff to the board with them, but we actually had coaches setting up the robot and stuff, and we're like, nope, you can't do that. And a lot of times the kids, ironically enough, were completely unsure what to do, because so the kids should know how to handle their own robot, especially for setup, because you're not allowed to do the inspection, you're not allowed to do setting the robot up, putting jigsaw and stuff like that. So kids should do all the work once they come to the competition area. Another situation we've had: no laptops or tablets at the table. If you think you need to have a laptop or a tablet at the table, make sure you find out how to copy everything down to your robot, because you cannot launch your robot from external devices. It has to be from the robot itself. So if anybody is on this call and you don't know what to do, send a message in chat or stay after the call, and we'll make sure you know how to get the information you need. Okay. Coaches, once we get started, the coaches will stand back with the rest of the team. They're not to be up at the table. They're definitely not to be over the referee's shoulder looking at what's going on. This is the coaches' time, so we will definitely ask you to step back. You're not allowed to be at the table. That's where the kids are. It's their time to work here. Coaches should not be yelling instructions into the kids, as in screaming, run 2, run 3, do this, do that. Okay, your job is done for the moment. This is their time to do what they're here to do. So you can certainly encourage them. If you need instructions to be yelled in, any of their teammates can certainly yell in. They can tag in, give them instructions, stuff like that. But we don't want coaches over-coaching by telling them everything they need to do. Okay. So I'm going a little quick here, but I don't want to take up everybody's time. So the silo, you must not just attempt the silo. We had, it seems to be that a lot of information gets put out, and teams don't understand. They hear one thing and it kind of spreads, right? So we had a tournament this weekend where everybody thought if you ran your mission and you touched the silo, that you got points for it. That is not the case. Yeah, that's what I said, Jenny. That is not the case. You don't just have to touch the silo. You don't just have to attempt the silo. You have to actually actuate the silo. We know what it takes to activate the silo. We've done it many times by hand. We understand the force that's needed. You have to activate the silo. And ironically enough, you guys aren't going to believe it, but the silos have been pretty well behaved. So, yeah, crazy, right? So you must attempt it. It must be a valid attempt. It has to actually hit the lever at a force that would send the cogs out. I'll get to your question there in 1 second. Francisco, I'm going to lose my place if I don't finish here. So returning back to home, it is okay to extend past the walls. We need to define what a wall is, because again, at a tournament, a lot of coaches were convinced that the quarter circle, the arch towards the mat, was a wall for some reason. The wall is actually the wooden exterior, the 2x4s that are painted, 2x3s that are painted black. That is the wall. So when your robot returns from the mat, from competition area where they're doing stuff, they can return and things can be over the wall. They can touch the robot. That doesn't mean that any part of the robot comes into home or launch, they can touch it. That's not what that means. So if you guys aren't sure about that, contact us on Slack or send us an email. We'll try to be more clear for you. We'll give you some pictures and diagrams and whatever you need. But yeah. This one's funny. I didn't tell Allison this yet. I had a team ask me if they can tape down the mat. Because
I had that too at Franklin. I've had that too this year.
So them specifically, if they could tape down the mat, because in the rule book it says teams may tape down the mat. Okay, that is for your home mat. That is not for the competition mats. Okay, so that's meant for when you're building your mat at home and playing at home. You cannot bring tape to our tables and tape down the mat. We do not do that. Okay. Last thing I have is the bonus. Does somebody have do you have a rule book handy, Allison or Brian?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
1 second.
I'm just gonna do the bonus stuff real quick.
Oh, I got that one.
Oh,
I'm
you wanna do that
not
one?
able to share. I'm not allowed to share.
I'll bring it up.
I'm not logged in right now.
Do you want to do it and he can share it, Allison?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
I'm done with my list. Go ahead.
Okay. So bonus scoring conditions. Specifically, this question came up in regards to Angler Artifacts Mission 11 over the weekend. If a scoring condition says bonus before it, in the case of this one, yep, there we go. So it says artifacts are raised above the ground layer, bonus, and the crane flag is at least partially lowered. I had a team who was very excited that they had a mission that just raised the flag stick so the flag was lowered. Unfortunately, that does not score. Bonus conditions can only be awarded to teams if they complete the first part of that mission. So in order for you to be eligible to get the bonus, you have to do raising the artifacts above the ground layer for this mission. I believe Minecart also has that on there for you need to get your minecart onto the opposing field in order to be eligible for the bonus of receiving a minecart onto your field. So please be mindful. If it says bonus on the mission, you have to do the prior criteria in order to be able to get those points.
And I skipped over Francisco. Can I go back to his question real quick? We have notes for the technicians. Can we bring them? Can we bring that to a table? Yes, you can. The rule says you can have one piece of notebook paper per side. It does not count as your equipment, so it doesn't have to be inspected. Oh, good job, Brian. Wow, you're right on it. Brian knows the rules as good as we do.
Nah, I know how to search.
So
Get him some stripes.
We're not crazy sticklers about what kind of paper you bring. Like, I don't care if you bring something printed out from a computer. I don't care if it's a piece of notebook paper, right? Just, don't go crazy here. We don't need like a poster board with, a whole essay on there written down. But note cards, yes, that's fine. Post-it, a post-it note on each side, yes, that's fine. So there you go.
Listen, did you have a list?
I sent it today because I wasn't sure if I was going to make it in time today.
That was our list. That was pretty much it.
That was the list. Yeah, nothing too crazy this week.
So I was actually going to do this today, but I got busy. So we are going to be editing some of the referee tips on the BadgerBot website. I will let Craig kind of guide you guys to that verbally because I don't have the address. But there is a document on. Oh, look at this. There's a document that Brian's going to bring up right now. So it's a live document. So we're going to edit it and add stuff to it. And this is the tips from the refs. And it has a bunch of good information in here. So if you guys have not been here, you can pause the video and watch it or go to that location and find it. Perfect. Thank you, Brian.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that was badgerbots.org. At the top, select robotics, Wisconsin First Legal League, and then navigate down to tips from the refs. And while you're at it, if you want to check out the judging facts, that's fine too.
Yeah, it's probably good too.
So judging short here, guys. That is 75% of the overall scoring.
Well, kinda. We got quarterbacks at the tables too, so we'll take 30%. Okay. Any questions for a robot game? You guys can ask anything you would like. No, well, that was easy.
Open up to any questions then.
Yep.
If not, then we'll call it an evening. Let me just reiterate 2 items that were brought up. One was the First Inspires.org team roster. That is a printout that every coach should be able to print. We need you to bring a hard copy or email the tournament director. We want to make sure that we have a hard copy at the tournament, because then that will then dictate how many dog tags you get, because every participant on your team should be on that list. We need to have the parental consent and release, and there's a little green check mark, or a green circle with the white check. I can't remember exactly which one it is. Anyway, but that, of course, gives us the assurance that all the I's have been dotted and T's have been crossed with regards to the administrative part of it. So please remember to bring those. If you don't bring them, talk to the tournament director. They'll find you a computer and a printer, and we'll get that. But please do your homework ahead of time to save everybody else a little bit of, small little fire drill there. And then this evening, one of the reoccurring themes was obviously kids' safety, whether it be fainting, getting sick, doesn't matter anywhere where it is on at any event. The kids' safety comes first. Interrupt whatever needs to be interrupted. That's just safety first. So we all need to be proactive in doing that. And so far we haven't had any major incidences in the last 3-4 years. Yes, a fainting here and there, but so far we've been pretty good as a group. So let's try to keep that going. All right. If nothing else, then
Kids do the work. Just the standard reminder.
There you go. Oh, I can't believe we forgot. For those of you coaches who are interested in being better coaches, at least according to the rubrics, we do have judging opportunities available at the later regionals. So even if your season is done with your existing team, there's plenty of opportunity to learn. We've got this weekend coming up. I believe there might be a couple spots available, but definitely in December. We've got the Madison tournaments back-to-back, Saturday and Sunday. We've got a brand new tournament in Milwaukee at Golda Meir School, and Pewaukee is a new tournament. So if you want to learn how to be a better coach, at least if advancing is part of your goal, your team's goal, being on the inside of the judging discussions is an invaluable tool that you can then take back to your teams. You're going to hear that again and again from coaches that have done it. A lot of our most accomplished teams are with coaches that do judging as well at other events. So there's our global tip for everybody. And we need you, right? We need volunteers to judge. Otherwise, the days get really long for some of our volunteers, and so we could definitely use the help.
We'll train you and put you with experienced judges.
One more real quick.
You're not in alone.
One more real quick. No cursing at the tables for kids or coaches. I don't know what it is this year, but we have had a crazy amount of kids and coaches cursing at the table. It is not allowed. I don't really care how you guys run your practices at home or wherever you do them. We don't allow cursing at the table. It will get you a 2 for sure. Like, we don't give out a lot of 2s, but understand there's other teams on the other side of you, and they may not be as cool with the cursing as your team is. So coaches, no cursing. Kids, no cursing. They may get a very strong warning one time, but it won't happen again. So, thank you.
Okay, I don't know if any other coaches need to hear this, but I was a little surprised on Saturday when it was announced that the students are supposed to be hitting the power button at the 2.5 minute mark instead of the judge or the refs. So I don't know if that's something, because my kids were like, wait, what? We haven't practiced that. But I know it's not a huge thing, but
we can clarify that real quick for you. I mean, it's fair. So if the students are able to, as in tall enough and can physically reach the robot, speaking for someone that sometimes can't reach the robot, they can. So if the kid can reach the robot, they should be turning the robot off. It's in the rule book that the kids should stop their robot. We do understand that sometimes they can't reach the robot. As with everything else, there's some flexibility. They can say, okay, we're done. Can you turn off our robot? In which case we'll say, are you sure you're done? They'll say yes, and we will turn off the robot or stop their robot, and at which point they do not get their robot back. If they decide they have 45 seconds left and they didn't want to start something, they're done. Same thing with retrieving the robot. If your robot's stuck on a mission and they can't reach it because they're not physically tall enough to reach it, they can say, can you grab the robot? At which point we will say, what side do you want me to rescue it to? Because, they have to tell us what side they want it to go to. We don't know their missions, so. But we'll definitely help. It's not, things aren't that, cut and dry, but they should be stopping their own robot.
Yeah, so it's something we actually realized for this season that has been in the rules for a little bit at this point, that it specifically says in the rule book that students should be the ones stopping their robot at the end of a match. So we are trying to bring that habit into First Wisconsin this year. I've been getting some mixed feedback from our referees because there are situations where students are going for that last little mission and they don't quite hit the button at 0, and there's argument on where the robot was at 0. So it's something that we're working on. But I think at least through this season, we're still going to be trying to work with students to make sure that they are stopping their robots. But worst case, referees will stop your robot if they have to.
I think they get a lot more mad at us if we picked the robot up and dropped it than if they did it themselves. So at least, we had 2 dropped robots this past weekend by kids, not referees, thankfully.
Yes.
So we don't want to be touching.
Yet.
We don't want to be touching your robot unless we absolutely have to. Okay. Anything? I agree, Michael. Yeah, Kirsten should get a 1 at the table.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us this evening. Thank you to the tournament directors that were here, and certainly for the effort that you're already put forth and going to continue to do so through your event. So good luck to all the teams participating this coming weekend. Good night, everybody.
See you guys.